Alright, I'll begin an exercise in futility now. I will struggle to talk about the Tao. Alright, so most people familiar. Whoosh, actually, I'll do it here. Whoosh, with the circle, and so the straight line down the middle. There's this whoosh, whoosh, with a black dot here, a white dot here, and there's black over here, and there's white over here. That's the way it's supposed to look. Sometimes it's sideways. But the thing is, like, I think that's wrong. I can't prove that that's wrong, but I think that's wrong. And this is why. Here's the thing. So let's assume this whole thing's white, this whole thing's black, and it has that like cool tier, like double tier formation, right? So like, indica hasta la estada. Absolute chaos. And I'm not joking. That's what Yang is. That's literally what Yang is. It's absolute chaos. Like it's yes, that includes life. In the same way that Yin over here includes death, but like it's chaos more than it even is life. And over here, Yin, Yadika, Adeza, absolute order. Absolute order. Absolute order. Now, up here, the dot, and down here, the dot. The reason why I'm pretty sure that it has to be like this as opposed to the dots being over here, like where the eyes are. This is called the Hun, and this is called the Po. Now, these are both representations of basically our soul. Like the Hun is the higher soul. It's Paratman. It's like the piece of Paratman that every Jivatman has. And down here is the Po. The Po is like the intersection of the Jivatman and that individual Jiva's Chayatman or shadow soul, which is why it's down here. And the thing is, like it being the shadow soul, strangely enough, is why it's like actually pure white, because that thing is chaos. Like I'm not even joking. But like you have Paratman for Hun, and you have Po down here for Chayatman Vajra Jivatman. So all of these things are useful in understanding at an intuitive level, which is the best way you can do it, and pretty much the only way you can do it, the Tao. Because the thing is, the Tao, as far as I understand it, is being able to, in your lifetime, walk this specific line. Because everyone's life goes through chaos, order, everything in between. It just does. And that's the Tao. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Now, that is basic philosophy. How am I going to get into this with mantra? Because that's what I do. Now that I've gone over the basics of like the metaphysical philosophy behind what I'm talking about, because I've gotten into this habit in the past, like, I don't know, a couple weeks, started making more Yadika Barij Rashi absolute hypermeter stacks. Yep, that's what I did. That's what I did. And that's what I did. So I did it for Ayadika Astavestada, Ayadika Deza, Paratman, and Chayatman. So those four things. So I did a separate stack for, Chaos, Order, Hun, and Po. And then I did an additional stack for the circle that contains it. And then one more, and then one for that. So a total of 6 separate stacks. Is it excessive? I don't know. It's just how I do. Anyway, so Alright. For Chaos, it starts out with, and I closed my window like a silly, silly man. Where are you? So it starts out with Samakarati and Vavakarati. Pindikaroti, Dodati. Pratarayati, Karnati. So, like, pretty much all of these are going to start out with Samakarati and Vavakarati, Pindikaroti to associate with, insinuate yourself into, identify with, then whatever the operative word for whatever I'm doing is. And then it's always going to be reduced to order and then twist like a thread. So, for Chaos, it's Dodati. For Wild. For when you wild out. I'm not joking. Because that's too funny to not say seriously. For Order? What do I do for Order? Oh, right. Prasadayati. Reduced to order. Because, like, Pindikaroti, Prasadayati. Identify with reduced to order. Because that's what happens on the inside. That's just what it does. Like, that's its deal. That's its primary deal. Yin's primary deal, Order's primary deal is reduced to order, believe it or not. Shocking, huh? Anyway, for Hun, or Paratman, there are two options, actually, depending on how you want to go. You can do Avatarati, for Descend, as in the higher soul descends into you. Like your own higher soul, effectively, just like, whoop, is in your body. And Avatarayati, you could have it download instead if that's what you feel like doing. Isn't that awesome? Anyway, so I might have screwed up my Po one. Because if it's Chayatmon, then it shouldn't be anything other than Vichayayati, free from shadow. And I'm pretty sure I didn't actually do that. Which is silly. Oh yeah, fun side note, actually. So, the concept of Po and Hun and Po, like, actually exists outside of here. But I'm pretty much drawing on how I'm thinking of it from reading descriptions from here, because they're actually not that inaccurate. Like, I mean, there are some inaccuracies, obviously, because it's a game, but, like, could be worse. And, oh, yeah, so, for the circle, or for this, at the top, it is a Dashati, because this is a Visa Kermi Kakra. Close and shut, because, like, you know, there's nothing really outside of absolute order and absolute chaos. I mean, there is, but we don't want to deal with it. Take my word on it. Oh, right. What I was getting to. So, they also mention that in Exalted, where effectively in Exalted, these guys come from, well, these guys and gals come from the Dragon-Blooded Exalted. Like, that's literally where they come from. And at some point, because the Dragon-Blooded start getting wicked into Spirit Eating, which is essentially what got all the Solars in trouble, near as I could tell, because they started, like, gaining personality quirks from the Primordials that they did Spirit Eating on, that they actually, that weren't anything but inhuman, and kind of gave them, like, essentially, like, soul war trauma from Spirit Eating, and, well, after purging all the Solars, the Dragon-Blooded didn't learn, started doing Spirit Eating themselves, and became vampires. And that's how that happened, at least in the book, and the game, that is to say. So, be careful with You're spirit drinking. Oh my god, I just found something like disturbingly scary actually. There's this thing called a Vatasha. It's called a wind eater. Whoa, that sounds scary as everything. I'm just saying. Anyway, so you wild out for chaos. You reduce order for order. You descend as in a higher soul for Hun, and you free from shadow for Poe. And here's where that gets interesting. So, like, I've done a bunch of previous episodes on doing exaltations from, like, the various kinds of exalted, from, like, actually basically all of them. What's funny about this is the spark of exaltation is supposed to be, like, lodged, like, stuck in. It's supposed to be, like, it's in your Poe. It's in your Poe. Like, the Poe is the only place it can go. Which basically means only a human, or like, only a human. Yeah, only a human. Only a human. And not even necessarily one with like a fully awakened shadow soul, but like only a human who has by default a Jivatman and a Chayatman, because that's just how we roll. Only a human can become an exalted, because the spark of exaltation basically can only fit in a Poe, or something like that. Anyway, I'll get more into that, like, on my own, rather than, like, just ramble on about it more. But, thank you for watching. Please feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Oh, whoa, whoa. Actually, no. Before I end, there's the most important part. The one for the 6 stack. So the 6 stack, after the shoddy, to close the circle, is Bharati, for balance. Because life is about balancing the absolute chaos and the absolute order that basically defines reality. And that's all I got. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe.